Hey guys, Josh Stockleather, Discussion Board 7, I do believe, on the book of Revelation. It's a very hotly debated topic, a book in the Bible, many books written about it. People misunderstand it. Preachers preach it wrong, we hear it, but it's good that we can go through this and kind of get the correct understanding and the context of it. So our prompts are in the book of Revelation, or if the book of Revelation was written to encourage the church in persecution during all ages. So we'll start there. Of course, it was written to the churches in that time. There's 7 that were under persecution for their beliefs or what have you. And each letter contained praise for that specific church on what they were doing right, and also had points about what they were doing wrong, all except for one church, as Pastor Christensen said in our lecture. So in this time, of course, the persecution of the believers in the church was rampant. The letters also included keys of how to overcome that persecution, which, of course, for believers is kind of common sense. You follow Jesus, you love him, you don't falter in your faith. But of course, it's easy for us to say when we're not experiencing this persecution that is to come, but God does call us to do that, put our faith in him and love him, and everything will be okay. So the book also speaks of things that are to happen both in the spirit realm, the heavenlies, and in the earthly realm, which is us. The things that happen in our earthly realm are persecution towards us. They will get bad because things are happening in that spirit realm. There's a war spiritually going on that in turns inflicts the kingdom advancing for us because we fell into sin, we're not perfect, that whole thing, and so we experience that persecution here in our earthly realm. So in the second part of our little prompt here is, what impact might this fact have on how we should understand the many different symbols within the books? In all of human history, God has allowed persecution of his people, his churches, etc. It's a constant act from the beginning of human history. Jesus steps in, of course, when there's reached a boiling point. He kind of starts over, says, enough, this is what I require of my people, this is how we're going to do it, and then it keeps occurring, and we see that come to a head, in Revelation. Revelation, in our notes, this kind of stood out to me. It said it was written to reveal this truth to these churches, all in the kingdom, especially those who are experiencing the kingdom in conflict. Our church, our earthly kingdom, will be in conflict through persecution. And the backlash of Satan's kingdom is always a sure sign that we're pounding on his gates, that we are winning. That battle has started, and we are on the way to winning it. That has been decided, that one day we will have final victory over him. So many of these symbols and imagery seen here in Revelation, they all correlate to Jesus' story, of power, persecution of his people, and of course his power over his people and persecution of him. But in such comes the purity or more sense of closeness to him through such trials that are seen displayed through this imagery in Revelation. There's some couple quotes from several books. John's view of human nature is dualistic. Either a person is walking with Christ or a person is aligned with the beast. And the purpose of Revelation and its content, imagery, etc., is to reveal the future. Everything in the book of Revelation, points to the second coming of Christ. So I look forward to reading more about this with the other guys' boards, and have a great day. Thank you.